Hello YouTube, welcome back to Oliver's greenhouse. It's been far too long since I've done a video. Managed to get back with the last dying drop of light that's hitting the greenhouse, so hopefully you're going to be able to see me okay. I don't actually need this. I've been out today, it's been cold. It's about 17 degrees here in the greenhouse, so it's plenty warm. The orchids are really enjoying it. So what I thought I'd do is a quick sort of trip round, have a little look at some of the orchids whilst we've got the last of the light, and we can sort of chat as we go. So I'll pick you up and we'll go around and have a look. Okay, so here's a first little look at some of the mounted orchids we did in some of the videos. This is the Pluritalis shriek, which is doing quite well. I won't pick it off, it's actually bubble wrap. What a nightmare. Bubble wrapping the greenhouse full of plants. I don't envy doing that or even look forward to doing that next year. It's been an absolute nightmare. My Stelis orchid is doing quite well. There's a new growth here. We've got some new growth on the Pluritalis. My Trios oblonga hasn't died yet, so that's doing well. I've noticed some new root growth. Isabelia up the top here. It's looking peculiar. Lots of new root growth on this guy, so it seems to be really enjoying the environment. If we just pan round this way slightly, we can have a look at what's going on over here. Just zoom in a little bit. So, Bulbophyllum barbagerum sort of got a bit sulky. I'm not sure if it's the cold weather it's not enjoying. Anyway, that's basically arrested growth, not doing anything at the moment. This is Dendrobium. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. It's probably written on the back of it. I have to peer underneath. This may look a bit peculiar. Dendrobium dichioides. That's got lots of new growth on it, lots of new root growth. It looks really, really happy. And of course, Dendrobium devonianum. We did the remounting of that when we took it off. The roots have really turned round and heading off into the mount that we filled full of media. I'll just move you over and we'll have a little look at that. So there's the mount, and you can see the root tips have stayed nice and alive and are growing. This root here particularly is turning back into the potting media, or the media we filled the mount with. So that looks really, really happy. So I think we've got to have a successful transplantation with that guy. One of my Coelogynes, my Coelogyne fimbriata, a little must-have orchid, is in flower at the moment. I'll move you guys again and we'll have a little look at that. So this is Coelogyne fimbriata. It's got very pretty little flowers with almost like a black or dark brown coloration on the lip of the sepal down here. Profuse flower, easy to grow, lots of new buds. There's another new bud here. This flower is just finishing and there's going to be replaced by yet another bud here. And this guy over the back looks really, really good. What I'll do is I'll move you and see if I can get a close-up shot of the flower. So there's a close-up shot of the flower. The video might seem a little wobbly. I've got to hold on to the tripod so we can have a look. And you can see that really dark, almost sort of black lip, and the unusual hairs which line the side of the sepal there. Try and zoom in again a little bit more. There we go. Very delicate, very pretty, very easy to grow orchid. Rambles a lot. End up having to snip bits off and put it back in the basket to thicken it up. So that's Coelogyne fimbriata. Like I said, if you don't have this orchid, buy it. It's relatively cheap, easy to find, very rewarding. Over here we can really see quite the profusion of buds on this flower spike here, which is coming out of Oncidium ornithorhynchum. This is, see if I can zero in on them a little bit more. Almost. It's a very pretty little orchid. Produces these lovely little purple flowers that look like flying squirrels. So that's really close. It won't be long before that's out and we'll be able to have a look at that. We'll have a quick scan over here and look at some of my Nepenthes. Let's move you down. There we go. So lots of new growth. These guys really enjoy the much cooler weather. Big leaf jump on here. Big leaf jump on this guy. And my Rafflesianas are doing well. Lots of new growth. Tobaica's really taking off as well. I think it was just a bit too hot in here in the summer, and they kind of got a bit sulky, but are doing really well now. Let's move this tray out of the way and we'll have a look at the Neolucia Bucella that we sort of tried to save, and we'll see how that's getting on. What I'm going to do is just extend some legs. Hold on. Nearly there. Right, and here we have it. Zoom in. There we go. So this is the Neolucia Bucella. This nice new growth here is doing really well, and the other leaves have stayed nice and green. This guy here is dying off. He's not going to make it, unfortunately. But that's really positive. Don't suppose you might be able to see it on camera. See this tiny little lump, this nubbin just below my finger there. That's where the flower will appear out of the new growth. Produces tiny little purple snapdragon flowers, which are really unusual to look at, and very, very tiny. I mean, with a magnifying glass, you really need to truly appreciate them. If we move you back slightly. So this is my Brassia Chieftain. This is the one that had the spider mite attack, which has still got some of these brown, manky looking pseudo bulbs. But the new growth has come out. That was a little wrinkly. That's before I get the humidity system in, so it ended up looking a bit crinkled. But it's got one flower spike over here. This is the littlest flower spike, the most recent one. If we pan up here, we've got a nice big flower spike with, should we count the buds? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 flowers on there, and they're starting to go spotty as well, which means that they won't be long till they start to open up. So super happy with that. My other Brassia over the back, if we move you over, you might just be able to see it. Just see it underneath the bulbophyllum orchid, just there. Just zoom you in again. Over here, there's another flower spike just there, about to come up. So that's going to be good. So the whole greenhouse is going to be filled with beautiful Brassia smell, which is fantastic. Nothing to report on the bulbophyllums up here in the trays, the lithophytic orchids. Lots of new growth. You can kind of see a new growth running along over here. They're starting to root now, and no doubt will be becoming pseudo bulbs at some point. No sign of flowers, neither on bulbophyllum fascinator. I'd really like this guy to flower, but nothing as of yet. So that's that side of the greenhouse. Having to, like I said before, having to move everything around to get this bubble wrap up has just been an absolute ball ache. I haven't enjoyed any moment of it really, but we're nearly there. So let's pop you up on top of the swamp cooler for a minute. Up here. We'll have a look at what's going on down in this area. So we've got some more of my Nepenthes. My Loei are doing okay, lots of new growth, some moss. My other Debicas doing really well. I'm not entirely sure what's wrong with jacquelineae. It's just super sad, and I just can't work out why it's being so sad. It basically stopped growing. I can't see a growing tip anymore in here. It says one's going to emerge anytime soon. I don't know. I've got a sneaking suspicion. Those people that grow plants, most of you, I'm assuming, will grow plants. You end up with a feeling where something's not quite going to make it, and I think it's probably going to cark it. But for what reason, I have no idea at this point in time. My Lassia carpus, which is down here. Oh, actually, we shouldn't forget this guy up here. This is my unidentified Stanhopea, however you want to pronounce it. Lots of new growths, looking really, really happy, enjoying the cooler temperatures. We will never know what this is. Well, they do flower, so I've been told, although it's not very easy to get them to flower. And we won't be able to, whether it's Tigrinus or that predator one, we just don't really know until it actually does flower. When me and Harry potted up the Drosera Bomanii over here, they've done really well. They've just multiplied and multiplied. I'll try and zoom us in on that so we can have a look at those a bit closer up. Just pick you guys up and basically move you. Remove this tray of Nepenthes carefully over onto the swamp cooler where you guys just were a minute ago. You can see how much these guys have proliferated. I think it's the nutrient increase of some fresh soil, but I swear there wasn't that many in here before when me and Harry potted them up, but they've just taken off and they're really enjoying the high humidity. These are one of the fastest moving tentacles or trapping speed in the Drosera world or the carnivorous plant world. I'm actually gonna resort to selling some of these, so I'll put some on eBay and sell some of these. I can send them bare root quite easily. I mean, that's how I got mine, and they were all absolutely fine. and have been quite easy to grow. I'll see if we can just get in a little bit closer and you can see how dewy these things are. Have a little go at zooming in. There we go. The video never really does it justice, but they're looking really good. We're starting to lose light now, so I need to sort of get a move on. Pick you up and move you around over the other side. We can have a look at some more of these orchids and plants we've got going over here. So my Pinguiclias doing fantastic. I have to divide these guys. I have to do a video on dividing. Lots of little pink flowers. Lots of new rosettes have formed, so I'm going to have to take them apart and divide them out carefully. Quite a few fungus gnats it's caught on here. Pinguiclia has finally stopped sulking. It's finished flowering and is now going into growth stage, so that's really, really good news. Lots of these cannas, these things grow like wildfire. Dendrobium spectabile is still in flower. This thing is just completely off the hook, though the flowers are really fading now. You can just about make the flowers out over here. They still smell nice, but it's getting to that point where I'm probably going to have to cut the flower stem off. What we'll do is we'll zip over here and I'll show you some of the other carnivorous plants. Oh, whilst I remember, up here we've got the air plant we glued on there. I can't remember its name. Let's have a little look. Tillandsia bandonensis. He just sits up on the side of one of my Coelogyne cristatas. Lots of growth extension. It's really started to grow, so that's good news. Not bad for a bit of hot glue gun action and a piece of cork. So really happy about that. I'll set you down over here and we'll have a look at some of the carnivorous plants and how they're getting on. Light's really starting to go over this side of the greenhouse now. So we've got Drosera multifida extrema down the bottom here. That's this guy, very dewy looking. Let's see if we can move in for a closer look at that. There we go, you can really see the dew droplets on that. It's looking super healthy, loads of new growth appearing out of the top of it as well if we zoom up and over here. It all goes sort of skyward. We lost a bit of quality there in the video unfortunately, but it all goes sort of skyward and then the bracts open out. Dichotoma, Drosera dichotoma over the back there, Dichotoma giant. We've got a giant Nepenthes just in front here which is starting to look really good. And over the other side we've got some of the tropical sundews as well. They all sit over here, over this side. We should go over there and have a little look, I suppose. These are the Nepenthes, Drosera Nepenthes. I should divide, they're all becoming a bit crammed in there, so I'm going to pick you guys up for this one. Okay, so we've got Drosera prolifera over here and it's proliferating. We can see some of the flowers. There's a flower just here and another flower, and there's 3 flower spikes coming off of that. It's forming, they're called stolons, and what they do, they bloom. And then once they finish blooming, they root and become little plants. Over the back, if some of you haven't seen it, we'll have a look at Drosera adelae, which is just about to be in flower. This is the Drosera adelae we repotted, or I repotted. Looks really good, lots of new growth. And if we boom up here, we can follow the flower spike up to the top. I won't zoom in on that, I don't think it's too small. But it's got the new flower spike and it produces these sort of like red starry shaped flowers. But the crown of the plant itself looks super healthy, very happy with that. And over the other side, although it won't directly be apparent, this is why I keep my Utricularia, so we can see the sort of the small leaves of the Utricularia all in there like that. There's even a little flower out there. Over the back is one singular. See if I can hold you still. Sorry about this, guys. Drosera scorpioides, looking quite good there. The one standalone left out of about 6 I planted. So that's what's going on in the greenhouse at the moment. That's about it for now. So as we're losing the light now, thanks very much for tuning in. I'm sorry this video's been a bit rushed. Life's just super busy at the moment. I'm either trying to spend time with the family or trying to get the rest of this installation up in time before we get super cold here. Unfortunately, I've got a funeral this weekend. Never really a very happy affair, but comme ci, comme ça, we don't last forever. And then next week looks relatively busy as well. So what we're going to do is we've got a few things we're going to come up with. I've got some repotting, some dividing we're going to be having a look at. Also I've got quite an interesting video featuring epidendrum pour packs, where I'm going to let you guys decide what we do with it. So hopefully that'll get you guys involved, you'll enjoy that, and we'll sort of like keep growing the channel together. So fingers crossed, I've got enough time to produce some content. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate all the support. It's been fantastic. Hopefully, I don't know what the new year will bring. Hopefully some better recording equipment. My birthday's coming up, so I have to ask for a bit of money and see if we can get some better recording equipment. And yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you like these videos and you want to see more of them, don't forget to give us a like, and if you feel like it, subscribe. Thanks for watching.